कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि।
What I say may not be very pleasant. What is true may not always be pleasant. What is pleasant need not be true. But why truth is important is because it works. Pleasant things will bring solace to individual people. Solace means you're seeking somebody's help to handle your psychological drama. Truth means you're interested in the solution, not in solace. So, this mission aspect, all the problems on the planet is simply because everybody has their own mission. And these missions are creating variety of conflict. If all of us sit here without any mission, mission means an assumed position of importance and agenda, individual agenda. If all of us can sit here without any individual agenda, if our hearts beat just as life, not as a man, not as a woman, not as this party or that party or this religion or that religion, simply as life, all of us will be able to see very clearly what is it that is most essential right now in the world, both for the individual and for the larger world. Because every one of us have taken up these assumed missionary positions, in our fervor of our own missions, very brutal things are being done in the world. People who even believe… mission is always God-given, unfortunately. You can look back on the history of humanity and see, whenever somebody said, God spoke to me, terrible things happened around them. In recent times, a president of a major nation said, God told me. Since then, over 1 million people are dead, 3 countries are ruined, and it has bred something that you cannot contain probably in the next 100 years, because God spoke to him. So, there are too many assumptions in this. There are too many assumptions involved. First of all, to think that I have a God-given mission, there is an exaggerated sense of importance for the human being. Somewhere, there is a ridiculous idea that human beings are central to the creation, or the cosmos is human-centric. No. Tomorrow morning, if this entire solar system evaporates, it will not even be noticed. That is how vast it is, creation. All of us, including the sun and the moon and all the planets, if we just evaporate tomorrow, it will not even be noticed, it's such a small speck. This tiny speck, which we call a solar system, in that planet Earth is a micro speck. In that micro speck, Kolkata is a super micro speck. In that, you are a big man. And now everybody has their own God-given missions. Whatever the most horrendous things that are happening on the planet right now, in Middle East, all these horrendous things are happening because they firmly believe they're doing God's work. Let's understand this. Sitting here, we may think, oh, these are all some cavemen or nutcases from somewhere. No, no, no. They're doing God's work. They truly believe it. If they did not believe it, they wouldn't pitch their life for it, isn't it? Any man who pitches his life for whatever he thinks is right or whatever he believes, you have to at least trust he's sincere about it. Is he sensible? That's another question. But is he sincere? He is. Otherwise he wouldn't pitch his life. Because it is in the very intrinsic nature of life, whether you are a man, woman, or an ant for that matter, if you try to catch an ant, he will do everything possible to save his life, isn't it? He does not think it's just an ant's life, let me shed it. No, 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 it's very valuable for him. This is the intrinsic nature of life, that every life values itself for what it is. Now, because most human beings have done nothing about experiencing the intrinsic value of life, right now I would say most human beings are not life, they're a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions and prejudices. Because they have become this, now they're coming up with another idea, they have a God-given mission. There is no mission. Life is a phenomena beyond missions. It is bigger than any silly mission we can think about. It is more profound, more organic and more phenomenal than anything human mind can ever think about. Our missions, local missions we can have. Right now you can have a mission, I don't want a single home in Kolkata without electricity. This is your local mission, it's fine. But this is not a God-given mission, this is a sensible mission that you come to because so many people are living in darkness. That's fine. Everybody can come up with missions like this out of your sense. But the moment you have a God-given mission, you're a danger to the world. Yes.
Hello, Sadhguru. I'm basically a very ambitious person in life. Anything that I want to do, I think I should excel in it. And hence what happens is I get into a lot of conflicts in terms of other people. I generally try and shun people out of my life as much as possible. When I seek excellence, there are always these obstacles that come in between. But what I want to understand is the disturbance that this creates as a process. It puts in our mind, heart. So I would like to handle it much better. And if there is a way that we can sort this disturbance out, I would like to know how.
If you want to excel in something, as I earlier said, you think excellence also is your ambition. Ambition means you're tweaking your desire. Desire need not be tweaked, your competence need to be tweaked. Tweaking the competence, nobody can come in the way because you're doing something with yourself. When your competence reaches a certain level of excellence, others will stand by and watch anyway. When you spin them out, even the batsman will stand and watch his wickets fallen because there is a certain excellence. So excellence is not something that you do with the world, excellence is something that you do with yourself. Suppose you are managing large situations, teams and organizations, then it involves everybody. When it involves everybody, there is a certain aspect. See, the problem is, we are always either looking up to something or looking down on something. This is something we must understand. This is one thing all of you should do. That is, don't look up to anything, don't look down on anything. If you just bring this, it's not simple. It's not as simple as it sounds. Because the moment you say something is good, you will look up to it. The moment you say something is bad, you look down on it. Just bring this equanimity in you. You don't look up to something, you don't look down on something. You look at everything just the way it is. Only if you see life just the way it is, can you conduct it to the best of your ability. If you think something is good, it gets exaggerated in a positive way. If you think something is bad, it gets exaggerated in a negative way. The moment you exaggerate something in your mind, you are not seeing things the way they are. Once you don't see things the way they are, excellence will be of another world, you will never touch it. So, people are not in the way of your excellence, nobody is. It is just that you are treating excellence as an ambition. No, excellence is self-transformation.
There is a question from the Rising Pune Super Giants cricket team page.
This is a fixed question.
It's not a fixed question, but
All right.
it's a pre-set question.
All right. What's the question?
I think it's…
Oh, they're coming on the video.
It's coming.
Who is asking the question, the coach or the captain or the bench?
No,
What happened?
Lokanetraji says no. Can we take one question from the audience?
Anybody, please take the microphone.
Sadhguru, I have a question.
Where are you?
I am here. Sadhguru, this side.
Where is here?
This side.
Which is this side?
This side. I am here, Sadhguru.
Okay.
First of all, thank you for making it to Calcutta. We expect you more often in Calcutta. Sadhguru, for centuries, we have thought education is a solution. Knowing will be doing. Now today, we are living in a world where every information, every knowledge, every profound thing is available at the click of a mouse. But yet, problems have only got compounded.
Oh, you're still on the mouse, you're not on the phone, huh?
Pardon?
You're still on the mouse, that's an ancient tool. You're not on your phone.
Yeah. So, all these years we have believed that, if we know things, if we know what is right, and life will get transformed. Today, the problem that I personally face, and I feel so many people, I have done Shambhavi. Now the question is, every morning when I rise, it becomes some kind of a challenge, whether I do it or I don't do it. Execution in our lives has become a challenge. So what is even, say you are touching the 30,000 schools and the children, what will ensure that what the tools or whatever tools of transformation they learn, that gets followed up in their life? How does the execution part gets taken care of? That's my question.
Now with the children, school children, we are not teaching it to the children, we are teaching it to the teachers. And it is going to… It's the 5 days. We are trying to involve the parents. If that happens, it'll happen at home also. About you, every day struggling whether to do Shambhavi or not, I want you to understand, I invested my life and my time and my energy to make this happen for you. And now if you're not doing it, you're not just wasting your life, you're trying to waste my life. I take that very seriously. And that's not a good karma for you. So tomorrow morning, the thing is just this. If those first 6 months we told you that you set it up, this discipline, if you had done it, by now, Shambhavi would be a process that will bliss you out every morning. If something becomes a very sweet experience, nobody has to tell you to do it. It is only initially, till you realize the nature of what it is, you need some force. So that's why we asked you to take a commitment. I'm sure you didn't keep it up. But now that you asked this question now, there are millions of people for whom they are looking forward to their Shambhavi every day because that is the best 21 minutes of their life. It should become like that. If something becomes beautiful, then nobody has to tell you, you must do it. Anyway you will do it. It will become lot more than anything that you have known if you give yourself to it. There are millions of people, if they close their eyes in the morning, tears of ecstasy are coming. Do they need to determine themselves they must do it? They'll anyway do it.
Friends, I think in the interest of the schedule, we must call this to an end.
I'm okay.
Okay,
Hello, hello.
Somebody got the mic.
Sadhguru.
can we take it from the lady there then?
Important question for me, please.
One question.
Knowing who I am is not enough.
Where are
Because
you?
if
Where
you
are
are,
you?
if you,
Hello Where are you?
Sadhguru here,
Here means where?
balcony,
I think
balcony, here, I have raised my hand, yeah. What my question is, knowing oneself not intellectually, but truly, the emness, beingness is still not enough because the mind still traps you and enslaves you.
You must
Though
ask
the frequency
you must ask the
increases.
question and leave it. If you ask the question and also give your own
No,
answer,
no. What I'm saying is, what to do?
What to do about what?
No, what I'm saying is, even if one knows oneself as the beingness and emness, not intellectually but truly, still it is not enough. Because still the mind traps you, though the frequency becomes less. One more, another thing, you claim to stop people from getting enlightened because they may die. It is so ordinary and obvious thing to know oneself, then how can one die? And how can one stop another person from getting enlightened? Thank you, Sadhguru.
I don't need to stop you. Most people are doing a good job with themselves. I don't have to stop them. It's only a few you must understand this. The problem is, too many books are printed telling you all these things, beingness and thisness and thatness. Too much jargon. Nothing happens like this. You must understand this. If in some way, any one aspect, if something is happening which is genuine, because your mind can deceive you in a million different ways. If something genuine is happening, at least one aspect of your physicality you will transcend. That is the test for you. Tonight, just like that, without drinking a mug of coffee or tea, just like that, simply, without doing anything, no party, no nothing, just sit up and see if you can just stay awake, just like that, the entire night. I'm saying, if something has happened within you, at least one aspect of your physicality would be transcended. It's not that forever you need not sleep. Just try one night, if it's possible. So just one year, or try not going to the bathroom for 24 hours. Anything. Transcend something, let me see. Because if you have hit something beyond physical nature, this is a clear thing that happens to you. Many things that you thought were impossible to go beyond, suddenly they are behind you. Check it out.
Well, friends, I think all good things must end, as must this. For me, it's been not only a privilege, but a blessing. I think there is something to be learned from every word that Sadhguru says. I think all of us are privileged, happy, and blessed. Thank you, Sadhguruji.
I would like to use this opportunity to just say this, that it is wonderful and truly heartening to see that across the world today, the business leadership is beginning to look at the inner dimension. Not entirely yet, but they're beginning to, all over. Every business school is interested. They're trying to hire me as their professors, as a professor for a week, 10 days in a year, which I'm not able to do. But every top business school wants a spiritual element, which is a very good sign, because what spiritual process means is just this. When your identification shifts beyond your physicality, when your experience of life transcends physicality, it is spiritual. Spiritual, it's a most malign word, I know. Spirituality doesn't mean looking up, looking down, it's about turning inward. You have touched something which is beyond physicality. The significance of this is just this. If you touch something beyond physical nature, that means you've touched something which is boundless in nature. You have left the world of boundaries behind you, that's what it means. Those who are enabled in terms of leadership, either political, bureaucratic, business, whatever, in whichever form, if you are in some state of leadership, one thing that needs to happen is you must evolve yourself beyond the world of boundaries. If you live in the world of boundaries and get hugely empowered, you're bound to create some kind of a conflict which is destructive in nature. Particularly the business leadership today, because there was a time when the religious leadership on the planet was the most influential leadership, but then the military machines in the world built up, then the military leaders became the most influential leaders. But in the last 100 years, the democratically elected leaders have become most powerful. But a time is coming in the next 15 to 25 years, you will see the economic or the business leaders will rule the world in many ways. But the business leaders unfortunately have a tag around their neck saying that they are vested interests, they are here just to make money. It is a time, it is a wonderful happening that a whole lot of business leaders are looking towards spirituality. This means spirituality does not mean going to the temple, going to heaven, no. It means moving from a world or a dimension of boundaries to a dimension of boundlessness. Once you're empowered, it is important that you go beyond your boundaries. Your boundaries should not rule you, and in the next 25 years, you will see across the world, the business leadership will determine what happens in this world. Today itself it is true, the success of a nation is not determined by the success of the military forces or even the political process. It is the success of the businesses of a nation which determines the success of the nation and the well-being of the nation. When such a responsibility has come, it is my aspiration to move every business leader from personal ambition to a larger vision which brings well-being to everyone. Thank you very much for Sanjay, for being here on this day.